Edit modes. The edit modes, shuffle, slip, spot, and grid, determine how regions behave on a track's edit playlist when edited by the edit tools. They enable you to manipulate your recorded tracks with the editing tools in different ways. Shuffle mode restricts the placement of regions so that they snap to each other and are placed end to end like this. In spot mode, you're prompted to enter a location for the moved or trimmed region. You can choose the exact location to place a region, or you can put the region back in its original location by clicking the arrow next to Original Timestamp. Slip mode. In this mode, regions can be moved and trimmed freely and placed so that regions overlap or so there is space between the regions in a track. Grid mode. This mode constrains edits and selections along the grid based on the time scale and grid size. Change the time scale by clicking on a different time scale at the top of the edit window. Change the grid size by clicking the downward arrow here and choosing a new grid value. Grid mode comes in two varieties, absolute grid and relative grid. Moving a region in absolute grid mode snaps the region's start point to the closest grid boundary. In relative grid mode, a region can be moved in increments of the grid or nudge value relative to its start point. For example, when a region's start point isn't on the grid, it will still move in increments of the grid, for example quarter notes, when in relative grid mode. Let's look at an example using the trim tool. When using the trim tool in slip mode, the regions are simply trimmed wherever you see them on the computer screen. However, when using shuffle mode, adjacent regions are slid as necessary to make room for the edited region. In absolute grid mode, the trimmed region snaps to the nearest grid boundary. And if using spot mode, the spot dialog opens, where you can enter the new location for the trimmed region's start or end point.